In the remote desert of Arizona, tucked away from the modern world, lay an abandoned mining town called Black Hollow. The town had been deserted for decades, left to the relentless sands and whispers of legend. But its centerpiece, a cavernous mine that once pulsed with life and industry, was what truly fascinated thrill-seekers and urban explorers alike. Among them were a group of 3 daring diggers: Nate, a seasoned spelunker with nerves of steel; Ella, a historian obsessed with uncovering forgotten lore; and Jonah, the group's tech-savvy skeptic who documented their adventures online. The trio had heard the rumors about the Black Hollow mine. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the miner's curse, a ghost said to haunt the tunnels. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the 3 arrived at the mine. Its entrance yawned open like the maw of some ancient beast. The air around it was unnaturally cold, a stark contrast to the sweltering desert. Ella snapped a picture of the rusted warning sign that read, "Danger, keep out." Nate adjusted his headlamp and led the way into the darkness. The tunnel walls closed in around them, the beams of their lights dancing over jagged rocks and weathered wooden supports. The deeper they ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. The air grew colder, the silence broken only by the crunch of their footsteps and the occasional drip of water. Ella shivered. "It feels wrong down here," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. But then they heard it, a low, rhythmic sound like the distant echo of a pickaxe striking stone. The sound grew louder, more distinct, until it seemed to reverberate all around them. Jonah's camera began to glitch, the screen flickering with static. "What the hell?" he muttered, tapping it in frustration. A chilling wind rushed through the tunnel, extinguishing their lights. They were plunged into absolute darkness. When the beams finally flickered back to life, they revealed something that hadn't been there before, a figure in the distance. A man in tattered mining gear, his face obscured by shadows, stood motionless. Instead, it slowly raised a hand, pointing deeper into the mine. The ghost's face was finally visible. Sunken eyes stared out of a gaunt, dirt-covered visage. Its mouth moved, but the sound that came out was a guttural wail, a symphony of anguish and rage that echoed through the tunnels. "Run!" Nate shouted, grabbing Ella and Jonah. They bolted back the way they had come, the wailing growing louder, chasing them like a living thing. Behind them, the sound of footsteps, heavy, deliberate, grew closer. Ella se cayó, cayendo duro contra el suelo rocoso. Nate turned back to help her, but the ghost was upon them, the ghost's wails fading as they finally burst out of the mine's entrance. The night air hit them like a wave and they collapsed onto the sand, gasping for breath. Behind them, the mine's entrance stood silent and foreboding, as if nothing had happened. Ella shook her head, tears streaming down her face. It was him, Samuel Greaves. He didn't want us there. Nate stared at the mine, his expression grim. "We're never coming back here," he said. Jonah checked his camera. The screen was still glitching, but among the static, a single frame was clear. The face of the ghost, staring directly into the lens. They left that night, never to return. But the memory of the ghost and its anguished wails would haunt them forever, a reminder of the dangers lurking in forgotten places.